Hey there, my name is Sage, and this is D&D Daily. Today, I'm doing a blind stat block reading of the Lorehold Professor of Order from Strixhaven's Curriculum of Chaos. Lorehold's Professors of Order search for evidence of patterns and predictable outcomes in history. They study the flow of events, learning which occurrences herald specific outcomes, and they trace their magic through these paths of causality. In their exploration of ruins, Professors of Order shore up dangerous structures and find the safest paths as they search. When confronted, they confound their foes by channeling the stasis of perfect order, creating resilient barriers of force and quashing hostile magic. So that's pretty neat because we're creating a distinction between these two philosophies. They're using like similar brands of magic in very different ways. So we still have time, but there seems to be more of an emphasis on defense and safety with this character. Let's see if that's reflected in the stat block. The Lorehold Professor of Order is a medium or small humanoid and is a wizard of any alignment. They have an armor class of 12 or 15 with mage armor. They have an average hit points of 104 and their speed is 30 feet. They have a +0 to strength, +2 to dex, +2 to constitution, +4 to intelligence, +2 to wisdom, and +1 to charisma. They have proficiency in constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, as well as the arcana, history, and perception skills. They are resistant to force damage, and they have a passive perception of 15. They speak common and any 4 languages, and they have a challenge rating of 7 with a proficiency bonus of +3. They come with Voice of the Past, which they can use once a day. The professor can cast the Contact Other Plane spell to contact a long-dead spirit using intelligence as a spellcasting ability. As an action, the professor makes 2 Repelling Burst attacks. It can also use Force Barrier if available. Repelling Burst is a melee spell attack with +7 to hit, a reach out to 30 feet, and hits one target. On a hit, it does on average 13 force damage, and if the target is a large or smaller creature, it must succeed on a DC 15 strength saving throw or be pushed up to 10 feet directly away from the professor and become restrained until the start of the professor's next turn. That is quite powerful because it combos with itself. Repelling Burst will knock them away from the caster, restrain them potentially, and then the next Repelling Burst has advantage on attack, so it's more likely to hit. Taking a look at Force Barrier, it recharges on a 5 or a 6. The professor magically creates a wall of translucent golden force within 90 feet of itself. The wall lasts for 1 minute or until the professor uses this action again. The barrier can be a vertical or horizontal plane up to 30 feet on a side or a 10-foot radius hemispherical dome with a floor. The wall provides total cover, has an AC of 17 and 30 hit points, and immunity to poison and psychic damage. So this is pretty sweet because it's kind of like a mini force cage or a wall of force where you're able to kind of divide and conquer. Yes, they can break out of it, but that's action spent breaking a 30 HP AC 17 intangible object. The Professor of Order also has spellcasting. At will, it can cast Comprehend Languages, Guidance, and Light, and twice a day it can cast Dimension Door, Locate Object, Mage Armor, and Stone Shape. So Dimension Door is pretty nice as an escape tool. That's a very nice option that the Professor of Chaos did not get, so that's pretty sweet. And the Professor of Order comes with a reaction as well called Arcane Stasis, which can be used twice a day. When a creature the Professor can see within 60 feet of it casts a spell, the Professor can magically lock the casting in the moment before completion. The spellcaster must succeed on a DC 15 saving throw using the spell's spellcasting ability, or the spell fails and is wasted. So we have a reaction counterspell-like thing. That's amazing. Okay, so personally, I think the Professor of Order is stronger than the Professor of Chaos. The Force Barrier is excellent. It has a very similar mid-range fighting style, though we come with Dimension Door as an escape tool and Counterspell as a reaction. That's pretty amazing. Tactically speaking, I think we're using Force Barrier on cooldown. I think we're trying to keep our distance using Repelling Burst and trying to set up that Restrained to get advantage for us and our allies. When things go wrong, we use Dimension Door to get out of there. Like all of the other Lorehold stat blocks, this would make a good guide, but this one has enough versatility that you could reskin it and do some interesting things with it in your own campaign. Which I would want to know, what are you going to do with it? How would you reskin it? Let us know in the comments down below. We are D&D Daily. We release new D&D content every single day, so if that's interesting to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.